Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another special week on the Follow the Brand TV. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me of late about coaching, about leadership coaching. I had on the show last week Mike Kim. Mike Kim was one of my mentors, and he helped me to frame discussions around branding, but not just branding of itself. It's about building your business in a way that's going to make it successful. And there's a lot of nuances as you begin that trek to building your business. And I want to bring up tonight a leadership coach that has been doing this for now a number of years, but she has an interesting story because her story resonates with a lot of different people. The meaning she was doing something else for a number of years, and then she made that pivot. And she made a strong pivot into coaching. And we're going to talk to her. That's Miss Tamika James. We're going to talk to her tonight about her journey, about her story, and how it can help you as an entrepreneur. So I want to bring up a clip to get you a little bit more information about who Tamika James is, and then we're going to have a great discussion on the Follow Brand TV. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Coach Tamika James, a former cosmetologist, salon owner, and educator, now currently a life and business coach. I absolutely love assisting you on your entrepreneurial journey. I was behind the chair servicing clients for many years. 2 years ago, I made the conscious decision to put my shares down and to delve into coaching, which is helping you to recognize more about where you are today and what you actually need to be doing. I wrote a book called You Got Way More in You, and I do conferences to share the contents of this book. At this time, I am helping you who is either making the decision to build your business, to grow it to what it needs to be, or to make the decision to get ready to exit from behind the chair because there's something else that you want to do, that you know that you should be doing, but you're not quite sure how to do it. I coach during the week on 3 days. I privately coach as well as work with beauty professionals and entrepreneurs in my coaching programs. I also have a digital agency because I've come to realize that most of the people that I work with do not want to do the administrative tasks as well as don't want to operate your social media. So we do social media management just for you. I have also created another stream of income, which is the 360 photo booth that gets rented out. If you're wondering who can assist you on the journey in the next part of your life and business, it's definitely me, Coach Tamika James. I've been where you are, and I am now where you want to go. So make the conscious choice to book a call so we can chat about what can happen for you and your future. You can't stay where you are, so let's get you on your journey. Book a call with me today. I just ask that you only book the call if you have decided that you're ready to make some changes in your life and business. See you soon.
All right. And there she is, Coach Tamika James. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me this evening.
Well, you are giving us a treat. 'Cause we're going to tune into your life, what you've been doing, and how that's been successful for you over time. But before we get there, we're gonna, we got to go back. I always tell people this is kind of your 30 for 30. This I provide the platform, you provide the story. So we want to hear your story as we go back a little bit in time. Because when we met, you were telling me you started out as a stylist. I'm like, okay. And you've had an incredible journey to get you to where you are now. So let's start there. Tell us about your story.
All right. So, what can I say? I definitely started off as a stylist at the age of 12. I was doing hair at the age of 12. I was really excited about making people smile. Like, if you ask me, why do I do what I do? It has everything to do with me wanting to make people smile. So that was my main thing. So I started doing hair. I found a lot of things that I could do. And I created techniques back then. I was very creative. I used to pin hair onto other people. I mean, like, not just braid it on. I used to use hairpins. So that was my beginning. I loved doing what I did. I loved making money. I wanted to buy my first car. So I kept doing what I was doing and saved up my money. So yeah, there's a host of reasons why I was doing hair. Yeah.
I love the reasons, but you're being modest. I mean, you took that. There's a lot of people that are beauticians, then they've been in the beauty business, or like I said, just the stylist. But you're telling me at the age of 12, just getting into your teenage years, you became innovative, and you start getting deep into the business, and you became a person to know. They say, hey, if you want some hair done, if you need a wig, or if you need some kind of extensions done, you're in Jersey, right? So you didn't do all this in Miami, Florida. You were doing this in Jersey. How did you build your brand to a point you became a go-to person in your field?
Well, I entered an entrepreneurship program when I was 14. So I took what I was already doing and entered this program and started to learn more about the actual business portion of what I was doing. They took me to get my sales tax and use ID number from the city, and immediately went over to New York to start purchasing things. So I learned about business early on. And that was the start of me really understanding business. And then as days went on and weeks and months went on, I just started, I just learned more and more about everything that was on the true business side. I understood that I couldn't just keep it as a hobby. So I had to learn. So I went to the right people. I got the right pieces of information. I had the drive that it took. I understood that you make a little money, you put some to the side, you put some back into the business, and then you carry on and you make more money. So these are some of the things that I came to understand in the very beginning.
As a teenager. So
Yeah.
you were like, now, did you have a mentor, a role model, someone that was showing you, giving you the ropes of how to really operate in this business?
Oh, wow. Okay. So let me tell you one of these stories that we couldn't tell back then, but we can tell now. So I was servicing everyone, my friends, my family. I did my teacher's hair. I was at the teacher's houses, everything. So I did my sister's hair, and a lady saw her walking down the street and she asked her who did her hair. So she gave her my information and she told her, she's a teenager, but, she saw my work. And she said, I still want to speak with her. So as a role model, she took me in and I started doing hair in her salon. She had this isolated area where all the clients didn't go to. She made this extra room and I started braiding hair and servicing clients in that room. So I learned about business by working in a business when I should not have been in a business. So when you ask me role model, how did I learn? I was under full-fledged entrepreneurs who were running business, and I was always watching how they did things, how they communicated with their staff, what they did to make the business better. I was looking at all of these things as a teenager. So yeah, this is the beginning. My role models were the people around me that were doing amazing things. Yeah.
Well, not only amazing things, you went from just the salon chair and in the just that particular beauty shop, to actually going to conventions and demonstrating your techniques, demonstrating what you were doing, and people started to actually invest their time in you. Tell us more about that portion of your life.
All right, let's see, where can we start with the education? So there was a point in time when I left the state. I lived in New Jersey. I moved to North Carolina. And in North Carolina, the way that they run business in the beauty business is different. You cannot, you can actually have your own booth. So New Jersey is a commission-based state, meaning you basically are supposed to work under another salon owner. So when I got to North Carolina, everything was open. So I had to go and find my own place to work and my own chair. So I ended up renting a chair to do hair. And then I saw that the salon owner actually had another station, which was it was like a glass what do you call this? It was like a glass showcase.
Yeah.
And it was empty. So I asked her if I could rent that out as well. And then I started doing nails because she had a nail salon on the other side. So I rented my hair station, the nail salon station, and the showcase. Now, I'm telling you all of this to say that I had to learn even more about running business. And then I hired someone to work with me to handle some of these things. And then I moved back to New Jersey and I had to now start all over. So I was not going to work under anyone else, not after I've already started my own thing. So I started in this nail salon. I went in and they had an open space in the back. And I figured, okay, I don't want a full-fledged salon. So how can I start my business? So I said, who owns this place? And I asked the guy who was sitting in the front, and he gave me the owner's number. I had a conversation with him, and we ended up organizing something, which is that he put in 2 stations for me. Now, they did not exist. He put in 2 stylist chairs and stations for me. And I quickly started working. I hired a shampoo assistant. And then I had this other station that was still available. So I said to myself, I need to bring someone else on to help out with the bills. And then I looked around and there was more space. And I asked him if we could do more of a build out. So he put in 3 more stations at his expense while I was renting the space from him. Telling you all of this to say that I started hiring staff at that location in the back of a nail salon. When I started hiring the staff, I recognized that I had to train them and I wanted them all to operate the same way. So I went on this trip and I learned, I got inspired to do a particular hairstyle. When I came back from this trip, which was like the Bronner Brothers hair show in Atlanta, I ended up creating this technique. And I said, every staff member that comes in, they need to learn it. So I started training each staff member. Then I said, I can't train them by my own hands. So I told them, hey, listen, as you guys come in, I'm going to train you, but we are a team. We work together. So as I train you and we get a new staff member, you are going to train them. So it was the beginning stages of me training others. And this was just to run my own, my own salon. So I ended up getting another location. What was it? Maybe 2 years later, I stayed there for about 2 years or so, 2 to 3 years. And then I found another location. I actually was in this competition and I did not win, but everyone thought that we should have, my salon should have won. So I ended up meeting with the lady who ran the competition, and we had this conversation about how I wanted another location. She ends up saying, I have a friend that has a location. And then that was how I got my second salon. Now, I know my stories are meshing. There's a lot to tell about my journey. But as I open this next salon, I have to begin the training process again. So I started I was training my staff even deeper. And then I said, if I'm training them, I can train others. So I started doing in-salon trainings where I would bring in other stylists who had techniques that they could share. I invited other people in, and we started doing that in my salon. And then I realized, here's the real reason why I went to the trade shows. My mother-in-law, at the time I was married, she has cancer for the 2nd time. And I'm really trying to figure out how I can make a unit, a wig for her without her having to sit there while she's going through her therapy and everything. So for about 6 months, I have this reoccurring dream because I'm trying to find the answer to how do I actually create a wig without her present. I ask everyone in my path. I'm just trying to figure this thing out. Finally, I get to the point where the dream actually ends. It finishes and I have an answer and I have to share it with the world. So I end up going to the trade show because I said I have to take this to the masses. And I end up at the trade show educating, and that was the start of my educational career. Oh my gosh, I need some water.
No, that is, see, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. I'm seeing some divine intervention. I'm seeing some first of all, your ingenuity is great, and the way that you started training your staff to be able to duplicate what you were doing, that is best practice for franchises all over the world. That's how McDonald's does it. That's how all the great businesses do it. If you can train others to do what you do and duplicate yourself, now you've got a winning formula. I'm also seeing the very beginnings of your leadership track, that you are a leader and you have the ability to train other people. Did you start seeing that beginning, or like, all right, I see what's happening, I'm starting to have this program, because you're a stylist, but you have a actually teaching training program in your salon? When did you start to make that transition to becoming the coach that you are right now?
Oh, the actual coach. So I can tell you that this part of me has been present for all the years that I was behind a chair, because another part of this whole story is that I got to the point where I was doing the trade shows, and actually I was married. My ex and I did it together. There was a strong team effect going on. I got to the point where we weren't going to be together. I was already training stylists, and then I just sat down and I took my situation. I took what I could do to help others, which is to train them and let them be able to travel the world and do different things. And I created a team. So I'm telling you about this team because this was like a point in time when I put this email out and I said, hey, who would like to be on my team? I knew things were shifting in my life and I wanted to carry on. So I said, who wants to be on my team? And I had 76 responses to this email. And I had been building my list for years. So everywhere I went, I collected email addresses. So I built this list, and the 76 people said they are willing to come to do a training, a set of tryouts to be a part of my team. Well, out of the 76, about 50 something responded that they will come, and 45 actually showed up. So I had to develop a 2-day training program where I would test them and train them all at the same time to see what they had and to also share with them more of my own tactics. Now, these people were already on my list because at this time, I now have somewhere around, I remember it must have been about 20 something instructional videos. So some of these people had already been purchasing my videos. So their application said, hey, who has this video, this video, this video? They checked off the ones that they owned. So that told me what they purchased from me, what they already should have learned from me, and what they may already know. So I started my team building and training back then. Fast forward to bring you up to today. Now that team ended up having 40 something team members. At the peak of COVID, when COVID actually happened, I had 26 that were left. And then it kind of ceased because that was just another part of my life. So at the point of COVID, when I stopped with the team and educating for hair, I said, this part of me as the coach, the trainer, the person that helps people to build their businesses still exists. And this is who I really am. I don't want to do hair anymore. I have to start the transition. So I sat, I prayed, I thought about it. I spoke to a few people. I wrote out the list with the line in the middle, stay, go, what do you do? The pros and cons list. And I came to the conclusion that I was not really sure, but I also knew that I couldn't stay where I was. And I just started to move forward. So that was the transition. And literally the list. I mean, like, I think people may, say, oh, really? You wrote the list? And people say to draw the line in the center of the page. We really should do that, because our thoughts that are in our head, they're swimming around. And sometimes we're trying to ask other people for the solution, but the answer lies within us as individuals. And then we also have to understand that there's always going to be a tug and a pull in regards to what we're familiar with. and then what is on the other side that is very unfamiliar, that we are very uncertain about. So I decided to take what I've been learning and I used it and I made my decision. And
You made
here
a
I am.
beautiful decision. So what I heard there is that COVID was a huge disruptor of what you were doing, that you
Yeah.
were very successful in your, salon business, very successful. But it came to where, hey, we can't, COVID, obviously, people couldn't go outside. You were closed in. So that was a big disruptor. I was often wondering what was happening. I know in certain parts of the country, people couldn't even go to the barber. They couldn't go to because you couldn't do anything. So I can see that that was a huge disruption. But you did what you did. You stood back, you stepped back, and that you drew that line. And then you got serious because you made what I call making the invisible visible. You made it visible. So you can say, all right, here's my strengths. Here are my weaknesses. Here are the risks that I'm dealing with. But you were at a position like, well, I really can't go back to what I was doing right now. I've got to figure this out. And you took the best of what you were doing. And I see that, what you were saying, I see that coaching and leadership throughout. A lot of people, they start a business, but they're just doing that business, right? They're only going to be a salonist. That's all they're going to do. They'll run the business, but that's all they're really doing. You took that and were expanding all the while into other things. You are what I call the essence of being an entrepreneur. That's what an entrepreneur does. He said, okay, I got this, and I want to add that. I want to do this. So you could not be stopped. I want you to talk to the audience. Now, we have a lot of entrepreneurs out here. Some are just beginning. Some are deep into their path and what they're doing, but they might be kind of stuck. You have a coaching program that helps people to kind of get unstuck and begin to utilize certain things. One thing I heard you talk about the email list. You start talking about how you incorporating maybe some technology into what you're doing to expand your reach. Can you give us some insights into how you coach entrepreneurs who are just in these positions of being stuck?
Yeah. So what I help with on the onset of meeting with someone is providing clarity, helping them to release the things that are in their head, to lay them all out and to just discover the truth and to really get down to the truth. Because I think a lot of people are telling themselves stories about what it could be or what it isn't. Just, this thing that we do. So I help with clarity. And then I help with strategy as well. So after we're clear on what we're going to do next, now we have to develop a plan. And we have to take that plan and we have to break it down into very small pieces. So if it is about who knows me, which is one of the things that a lot of people have an issue with, nobody knows me, they don't know my name, I don't know how I'm going to do this thing. Well, yeah, list building is super important. But then you can't just build a list. So it goes into, well, how do you build a list in regards to who you are and what you know and what you can share? So we take a look at that and then we start moving forward. Then there's the strategy of the moving forward. Okay, we're doing this thing. What do we need? Who do we need? And a lot of people think it's always money or it's always that they need to learn how to do something. All of the above exists. But I help them to determine what is involved with stepping forward so that the fear that most people have can be released. Because fear, of course, we know fear is false evidence appearing real. And it is that misunderstanding, or it's that space where we're just very uncertain. But the more clarity we get on the steps and the more we're making decisions, my thing is to help people to make a decision. You have to stop and make a decision. So that's what I do. In that program called Shift. I love it. I love Shift. And Shift is me. That's why I named it Shift, because it's me. I am Shift. I'm just sharing. You know what, Grant? I am actually just literally sharing with them what I did on my journey.
Yeah.
In coaching, I know we learn a lot of tactics and things that we can teach others, but the coach that most people want is a person that's been through something, that understands what they're going through, the mental aspects of it, the things that need to be done. all of the hurdles that you may have to go over, the hurdles that have been already jumped over, the coach has been through that and they understand you. So that's where when we're talking about who's the coach and what do you need, it's someone who just really has been through it. Yeah. And they're legitimately going to help you.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the authenticity of it. You know, you got to look at your business. What are you doing? Where do you want to go? Is this the right person that can lead you out of the situation or the darkness that you're in into the light? Because you've been through it. And it is hard because, like, wow, if you want to become a coach, like, wow, do I have to go through trying? But a lot of times you're going to go through a purification process. That's just a way of life to get you to be the person that you are, because you've got to let go of so much baggage. And what I heard from you right there is like, you know how to get right to it. Like, no, that ain't, no, let's get to it. Yeah. Let's get to the real issue. And a lot of times it starts with, you know, what's right here? What's right here? What's really going on? Are you, using fear to block your blessings? That could be it, and have you, start to all of a sudden start new thoughts, new feelings start to come in that are a little bit more positive. We live in I call it negative frame world. We live in what do you call it, critical mindset. Most of the time, you listen to the news, you listen to the outside things, they're focusing on the negative. They're constantly focusing on what's bad and what's not right. And it takes, I think it's done on purpose because it takes energy to focus on the good. It takes energy. Like, you know what? A lot of things happen today, but what were some really good things that happened today? What really good things happened in the last 10 minutes, the last 10 hours, the last 10 months? But that takes time. You have to take the time to step back and really look at that, because that's where your blessings lie, right? To make those changes that are occurring. Before I start asking you more questions, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to get more into your business, because I believe you are solving some problems for entrepreneurs, small business owners, especially women of color, that really need to hear, like you just stated, your story. Like, look, this is where I'm at. This is how I got to be where I'm at. But I'm already loving on your family, because as a 12-year-old girl, you out there hustling and doing your thing. I'm like, whoa, look what they created. This is awesome. This is really, really good. So let's take us to break. And then when we come back, we'll continue our conversation.
5-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
I'm Coach Tamika James, a life and business coach. I help new coaches start their online group coaching programs. I also help entrepreneurs with planning, strategizing, and organizing. For business and life, they're both connected. I help you create systems in your business so that you live the life that you work so hard to have. .360 photo booth experience. Wow, I'm so glad I decided to add this to my business. I'm in the Miami area. My videos are super fun. Check them out. Your events can have branded videos with your logo and the name of your event. Everyone that shares your videos, they are giving you so much exposure. Book my 360 today. Make a note to set up your booking. Spots are going fast. Specially servicing networking events, business conferences, and upscale events.
All right, all right. We are back. So let's hear a little bit more about your business and what you're doing. Because you got a couple of things that you're doing. You got coaching programs, you've got groups that you do. One thing I heard just now that I really like is that you help people that want to be coaches to be a coach. You got this thing down packed. So tell us more about the business side of Tamika James.
Okay. So there are a few moving parts right now. And guess what? Before I tell you what they are, everything I do is scheduled. That's one of the things we have to get a hold of our schedule. If we can schedule it, we can get it done. We can see clearly what needs to be done, and then we move on to the next thing. So the coaching programs that I run Monday through Wednesday, there are a couple of programs that I actually run. So they're like an hour and a half each. An hour and a half. I pop in. I create the program. Originally, it's all set up on the back end where I've recorded the videos and put everything in there that the attendees need to see and learn. They have activities they need to do. And I meet with them weekly on a weekly basis. So basically my coaching now is like a Q&A call. So it's we call it dripped content, which means that each day of the program, there's something that is delivered automatically via email to them. So they get a lesson, and that's the thing that they work on that day. And then when they get that for 7 days, different things, on the 7th day, they meet with me and they get to ask me any questions and give me an update on what they've been doing. So that's basically why I'm able to run several programs. So there's a program to become a coach and write your course. Then let me tell you what I did. I actually discovered that some people are not ready to just be the coach, but they just want to have a program. So the big coaching program had the components to write your course in there. I pulled part of that out and it made it its own program, reduced the rate of that part of it, and allowed people to sign on and just get that portion of it. So they could take the full-fledged program or the portion. Now, what I do is I have them to be in the same Q&A session. So I'm not losing any time. So you can sign up to this program or that one, but we're all going to be in the same program because at the end of the day, it's about writing your course. But the other people who are in the bigger program, they're learning to be a coach. So some people who are in the lower program, they get a little extra in the Q&A sessions. And so that's two of the programs. Then I have the other program called Shift. And Shift is, you're not sure what the heck you want to do. You are so confused about what's next. And, you move into that and into that space where you can't stay. So that program runs for an hour and a half as well. Same format. And then I have my general coaching program for entrepreneurs where I teach social media. And then we have several segments that are run. So I invite other speakers to come into that program so they don't just hear my voice. Now, actually, right now, as we speak, that program is running right now. So the Zoom has been started. We have a speaker in there for financial success for the attendees. And they're doing book reading, goal setting, and they're networking. So that's what's happening on the back end. So that's the coaching. And then I do private coaching as well. So when someone needs me on a deeper level, if they don't want to be in a program, I'm going to coach them privately for 8 weeks. And business side of me, I'm over here realizing that I work 3 days a week and I don't even work all day for those 3 days. So what else could I do? What else could I create that also creates visibility? That's when I started the 360 photo booth business. And I love it. I connect to so many people. I'm able to go outside instead of just being behind my computer. So it gives me something else to do. I recently hired a new staff member, so they're going to go out on their own as well. So, just constantly using strategy to build the individual businesses to make it all work. And one more piece that I'd love to share with you is the other business side of me is the part of me that understands the people that I'm working with and what they need, developed a digital agency. So I was working with clients, coaching them for their business, helping them with their strategies. They don't want to do the back-end administrative tasks. Now, even in that coaching program I told you about just a moment ago, I teach lessons about that in there, but some people still don't want to do it. So how can I assist them? I made a great connection, and now I have virtual assistants, and we source out virtual assistants to our clients, and they get the stuff done. Yeah.
Yeah,
It all meshes together somewhere or another.
you're super busy. You're making a lot of things happen. First of all, I love your process that you've taken automation and knowing how to operate, technical tools, marketing tools, put things together that are impactful, for the people that sign up for your course. And you've got different coursework for different people, but they're all trying to get to that outcome, which is a transformation. Help me understand this. What is First describe somebody who goes through your course and is successful, meaning they apply the principles and why, and then take me through somebody that actually goes through the course and somewhat applies the principles, but then they aren't as successful. What are the two differences that you see that happens with those two types of individuals?
So the differences will be their drive. The person has to be the person that actually wants to get the things done. They want to accomplish something. They've actually decided on what they want to do, and they're going hard. They're going to get it done no matter what. So the difference will be in, their time management, whether they're actually working on the time management or not. Now, even as a coach, either of those two people, I can coach them to the end of the days. It's up to them. They still have a big role in whether they're going to get something done. Some of the other spaces between the two who actually get things done or not are people who are willing to learn what they need to do, and or are willing to understand that they need to just pay someone to get the things done so that they get done.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a difference between the two. Some are going to sit on the sideline and keep hoping that they can try it and learn it. And then there's the other person that's like, hey, you've given me this strategy. Now, how can I accelerate this process and really create some success for myself? So yeah, did I answer the question, or is there something else in there?
No, you answered the question, and I know it takes a lot of drive. I was talking to someone just recently about coaches. And you think about something when I use sports analogies, right? You think about some of the greatest coaches that we know, just like in football, right? Well, Bill Belichick, right now, he's one of the greatest NFL coaches that throughout the years. He's won a lot of Super Bowls. He's a great player. He hits Tom Brady and that type of thing. But guess what? During that time, there was a lot of players that he coached, hundreds, if not thousands of players. And a very small percentage of them became Hall of Famers. But there's a lot of people still got the same coaching. So that's when you start to look at like, it's not all the coach, it's a combination of things, and you have to take ownership. So if you're going to enroll in a course, if you're going to enroll in a workshop, if you're going to enroll in certain things, you're going to first vet it out to make sure this is something that's good for you, and then put everything into it. And then you come to some realization. You might come to that realization. Guess what? I can probably play in this league, but I might not be the Hall of Famer in this league. You have to understand where your strengths lie. I love what you just said. Like, you know what? I need to understand certain social media strategies or marketing strategies or certain things. I need to understand it, but it's really not my strength. And that's when you're like, hey, I need to hire somebody to do that. I need to understand what they're doing. I don't necessarily need to do it, but you've taken them through to get to those, that state of understanding. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And what you're talking about is the SWOT analysis that everyone has to go through. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We have to recognize what's happening for us in each of those spaces. And then once we know, we have to do something about it. So those who recognize what's happening in each of those areas and they still don't take any action, they're just going to be whoever they are. Yeah. So
yeah, they'll be kind of stuck. And I'll put another analogy out there. A lot of people like to read. They'll read books, they do that type of thing. But you can read, 20, 30 books on swimming. You can read 20, 30 books on golfing. But guess what? The minute that you jump into the water, you won't be able to swim just by reading about it. That's not how that works. You have to be shown. You have to get in the water. You have to go through the process. Now, When does reading help you? When you actually start swimming, then you start to understand, oh, I need to, do this to the right or do this to the left or slow down here or speed up there. Then it starts to make sense because you're actually doing the work. That's
Yeah.
the difference. You really got to get in there, do the work, and then a lot of the things that a coach will put, or a lot of material, information, knowledge is out there, starts to make more sense. So you've got to do the work. So I'm sure you've had people like, here's your assignment. And then they come to you, on that day, and everybody's doing a Q&A, and they're asking these questions like, you didn't do the homework, did you? Now
You obviously didn't do it. Exactly. Like they give themselves away every time. It's like you obviously did not do the work. But something in this space where we're talking about the coach and the person who's being coached, when a person hasn't been already given they have to be given an instruction. Then they have to try it, as you said. They have to go through it. There has to be some level of experience, and then they have to be able to come back to the coach. And then also some amount of time needs to be in between all of that. So I think I hear like some people who are talking about they feel like they should get a coach for a short period of time. And I don't really think that's the case. They have to go through some things, experience a few things, do them, get more assistance, and then go back and rectify some things. Because all of us can buy a course, right? All day long we can buy a course. But did you execute it the way it should be executed? What was your experience about? And how did it compare to other people's experiences? What should you alter according to who you are and what you're doing with the information you have? And I think it's just sad that most people think they only need a little bit of help, and it's not necessarily true.
Well, you can't get one thing I learned from another coach that I know way over in Australia. And I love how she framed this. Like when you engage with her, you engage with 40,000 hours of experience. So if you enroll in let's just say a 1 week or 4 week coach or a 4 week course, you're not going to get 40,000 hours of experience. You're going to get 4 weeks of experience. So what you said makes a lot of sense. You'll be better than where you were, but you're going to have to, it takes continuous improvement, continuous refinement. And I like how you stated, like, you have to have those certain experience. Like what I'm saying to you won't make sense. It's like someone say, hey, I could teach you algebra, but if you only know, remedial math, let's just say, it's not going to make any sense to you. And it's not going to work for you, right? So when you start talking about social media strategies and people like, hey, well, social media, that's easy. I could get on there and go to Instagram and take a video of myself and post it, and I could go and probably make some little content and throw it out there. I don't need a coach. Tell us a little bit more about social media and what you've learned about it.
Oh, I love social media, and I just wish the rest of the world would love it too. I think if we can just get to the point where we make it more fun, we'll have more success. We won't feel so intimidated, and we'll get more done. We'll have more reach. It'll be so much more authentic to the audience. That's where we have to start. We have to release the fact that feeling like it's such a task. So let's have fun with it first and foremost. And then let's learn the things that we don't know. Let's let our hair down and just have fun learning and absorbing all of the changes. And I think that's what excites me, that it's constantly changing. Now, it can be a little nerve-wracking, the fact that I think you and I may have been having a conversation about how Facebook constantly changes, and we've got Facebook ads. You can run an ad today, and then tomorrow you go back into the ads manager and you're like, wait a minute, where did they move everything? Which is what happens on all of the platforms. So the thing that everyone should know is that it's constantly changing and evolving. And I think it's a beautiful thing, because we don't really want things to be the same anyway. We love like newness. So have fun with it. And okay, social media, videos. Some people don't like being on camera, and I think that gets in the way. So I think people just need to let it go. Like, just put the camera over there and just let it record you, and just do what you do and see what you get. That's the first thing that anyone can do, because I think when we're doing this, record, Hello, sweat, sweat,
Yeah,
sweat,
being natural.
shake, shake,
Yeah.
shake. I am Tamika, and I how many people are here? This is when we're going live. I only see 3 people. No, never, never do that. We never really know how many people are really on a live with us. We don't because people are cycling through. So there are
Right.
people who are
Right.
coming, going, watching something else. Their phone rings and they go out and they come back because they got a phone call. They didn't just leave you. Everyone's not abandoning you, but you have to show up. Do you know? I got a call today for a booking for my 360 photo booth, and I'm going to tell you where it came from. It came from, okay, first of all, business strategy. When I got the booth, I started texting everyone that I knew and said, hey, I have this new business venture. Here is my link to my site. So I let them know. And then the next thing I did was I showed up on social media, showing people that the business exists, what it looks like, how fun it is, the fact that I'm consistent with this business. And that person who referred this person to me basically saw me on social media being consistent. And they said, call her because she knows what she's doing. She'll take care of you. I know her personally, but she's doing the business. So it doesn't matter how much people know you. What are you showing and proving? So I got that booking today because of, I know it was social media and my other business efforts as well. But yeah.
No, you've been doing a great job, and we're going to encourage everybody to go to your sites. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about what you got going on, what's coming up as far as different events, and then this has been phenomenal. Again, I love what you're sharing. This is going to be very helpful for a lot of different people. So let's go to break, and we'll come right back.
5-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
Are you looking to improve your LinkedIn profile and reach a wider audience? Social selling is an effective way for you to generate leads and close deals, but it does have its challenges. Some common problems we saw with social selling include lack of visibility. If your profile is not optimized or you're not actively participating in groups or sharing content, it can be difficult to get noticed on LinkedIn. Number 2, lack of personalization. Some businesses struggle with personalizing their outreach and messaging, which can lead to low response rates and a lack of engagement. Also, difficulty targeting the right prospects. It can be difficult to identify and target the right prospects on social media, especially if you don't have access to robust targeting tools. And number 4, outdated content. If your LinkedIn profile or content is not up to date, it can give the impression that you're not actively engaged on the platform or that your skills and experience are not current. And lastly, poor quality content and not leveraging video and picture to convey ideas. To solve these problems, the 5-star BDM LinkedIn Optimization Social Selling Video course. Sign up today to improve your social selling opportunities.
Follow the Brand TV broadcast host, Grant McGaugh, as he visits with top executives and entrepreneurs to find out their secrets of success with their personal brand. Follow the Brand TV broadcast host as he focuses on brand development to build better relationships, bring value to your business, relationships, and career. You will enjoy listening to each episode that is tailored to speak to you directly. If you're looking for this type of clarity in terms of building your brand, you have tuned into the right station. Each episode will help you to shape a conversation in the 5-Star BDM network of 20,000 professionals and become a springboard for your corporate engagement and business opportunities. Each guest will frame their story in the areas of personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, and technology innovation. Grant McGaugh explains why he is the CEO and owner of his own professional career. Grant is an accomplished business leader and entrepreneur who wants to give back to individuals to grow their personal brand strategy. Tune in as he weaves his story about new possibilities, while to you exceed expectations. If you love storytelling, this show will make for fun.
All right, we are back. So we're having fun right now. This has been a feel-good moment. This has been wonderful. So tell us a little bit more about what you've got coming up and how we can get in touch with you, as we want to get in touch with you because you are a social media magnet. I have noticed that you've been owning Instagram. So tell us a little bit more about that.
All right. Well, what's coming up? Let's see. Underground Biz Group is consistently happening. So it's been going on since 2021. And so that's a consistent thing. So people need to know about it. Hop on into Underground Biz Group, where I teach social media every week. Yeah, that's first and foremost. And I'm going to be speaking at a few conferences that are coming up. I'm speaking at 9 to Thrive, which is going to be here in Miami on May the 6th, 9 to Thrive. And I'm also going to be speaking at another conference, which is the Business Entrepreneurs Conference on June the 10th in Fort Lauderdale. So those are some of the next places where I will be speaking. I'm also going to be speaking at the Premier Orlando. That's the hair trade show. I'll be speaking there on June the 4th and the 5th. So those are some of the places where I'll be publicly speaking. And I do networking events twice a month. So tomorrow, I mean, this is too soon, but who knows who's watching right now. But I do a networking event called Networking for Connections. I believe that when we're networking, I don't really like when we're just stepping into the room and we're left to our own devices to just meet people in the room. We have so many people who are, they are very shy, introverted, and not really sure still how to communicate with others. So I create activities that allow people in the room to get to know people on a personal level. And I know even today you've asked me about personal things and you've asked me about business things, and they're all well connected. People really love to know the real parts of us, because when they see how all of that connects, they really want to do business with us, because people do business with people that they like. So I really love inducing those interactions with entrepreneurs, because people won't forget the other people in the room. I love doing that. So yeah, that's a little bit of what's coming up. And I also released a course recently surrounding the 360 photo booth business. So listen, I know people are hearing that I'm busy. I'm doing a lot of different things. A course is created and it sits in the location, which is online. People get to click the button. They get to get the information. I built the thing out. And then I also provide a little bit of extra coaching with that as well. So those who get that course, they go through, they learn what they need to do, and then they get a few sessions with me for some Q&A, just to, make sure everything is fine with them in their new business. Yeah, that's what's going on.
Well, there's one thing I want to bring up that we got going on, because I met Tamika a few months back, actually 2023, when it first started out. I think it's the first time I met her. And actually, no, I'm gonna go back. It was actually the very, very, very first time we were part of a group and we went and saw Wakanda Forever. That was the actual first time. I think that was in the November timeframe. I can't exactly remember. But, we've stepped through, here we are now in April, and I've been following her. She's been following me. And we decided to have a group workshop here in South Florida. It's going to take place in probably the late June timeframe. We are both part of an organization called ICABA. That is the International Career and Business Development Alliance. So Akaba is going to be hosting our event. It will be at the Levon Center. That's the Broward Innovation Center right in Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to be doing a session on personal branding and LinkedIn social selling. And then Tamika, tell us what you'll be doing.
Oh, listen, you are going to get the party started, and I'm going to bring the party. I'm going to close the party out. So yeah, so I know you're going to assist them with the personal branding, helping them to understand, what it really is and what the beginning stages of what they need to do. And then I'm going to show them how to execute that on social media. So together, I mean, we're super powerful. And even where I say where Grant is going to start, I'm going to bring it home. And we're both powerful and impactful coaches, and we have a lot of information. But we decided to cut off what we're going to share. So he's going to share a small portion of what he knows, and I'm going to share a small portion of what I know. So yeah, everyone's going to be able to learn how to execute on social media, how to not be afraid of the camera, how to understand what to post, and a little bit of how to actually do that. Because there are things that us as entrepreneurs can handle on our own. And I want to make sure that everyone is well versed with social media before they leave the room.
Oh yeah, this is our world that we're in, not only just the physical world, but the digital world. And people, your reach is going to be 10 times greater, 10 times, maybe even 100 times greater once you realize how to utilize social media to your benefit. You brought up something that was so great just around video marketing. It's not about, even when you're doing something live, we're doing it live right now, but that same video, that same content will be repeated and replayed for a number of different times. You never know who's now clicking into your content. People click into your content. It could be months later. It could be a year later. And that's going to be that one thing they're like, aha, yes, that's great. I'm going to tune in. And the other thing that I really, really like about what you do, Tamika, Coach James, you're constantly building funnel. You're constantly getting people engaged and into your funnel for activity. And then from there, they can come into your world of worlds, and find the different teaching, the different learning, the different coaching that they're going to need to bring them to a different level in their business or their career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's me. That's me. I'm excited about that.
Well, before we let you go, you got to give us your website. How do we get in contact with you?
All right. So if you are going to contact me at my on my website, it is coachtamikajames.com, same way that you see it on the screen. And my mom did name me and spelled my name a little different, but it is pronounced Tamika. So Tomeka. And if you're going to connect with me on social media, Tamika James. On Instagram, I'm Tamika James. I'm also Coach Tamika James. And when you guys get in my presence, I'll share with you why I have several pages, and we'll talk a little bit about how you can do that as well. That's some of the info we'll be sharing at that conference as well. So you also can connect with me. Let me see. I want to give you my digital agency, CTJ Digital Agency on Instagram. CTJ Digital Agency. All right. Should I give them my 360 photo booth site as well as it?
Why not? Since now you brought it up, you have to do that. Yes.
Okay. The website for that is ctj360photobooth.com. ctj360photobooth.com. And there's an Instagram page which carries the same name as well without .com on it. So I'm really excited about being able to have a presence on social media, a presence with a website. I have several websites, and I could be giving you sites for days, but that's not necessary. One of the things that I do show and teach strategically is that you can have these sites to connect. So people can go to one and they can find out about the other one. So you don't have to say everything all the time, which is why I was nervous about even telling you guys about all of these different platforms. But you do need to know where to connect with me. I'm on Tamika James for the most part on all of the platforms. So yeah, I've been enjoying this interview. You do a great job at interviewing. So I just want to give you your flowers before I leave today. Such a great job making sure that everything that people need to hear has already been expressed. And I've just been having a good time while I've been here. So thank you.
Well,
for the
we've
way you do.
enjoyed you as a guest. We're going to continue this conversation. I want everybody to remember, be looking for that information to come out in June if you are in the South Florida area. Some of that content will be repurposed via video, so you'll get a chance to tune in that way. But until then, tune in to all the episodes that Follow the Brand at 5-Star BDM. That is B for Brand, D for Development, Masters.com. Have a great evening. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Hey everyone, it's Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM and host of the award-winning Follow the Brand podcast and TV series, where I help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. My genius is personal brand development through intelligent communication and helping you achieve your business and career goals. I am a requested speaker on digital technology and brand development issues. I want to work with you to increase the value of your current opportunities while attracting new ones. Every one of you is unique, and we all share challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. As a super connector, I work with you as an executive coach to guide you along the complicated business and career development road, providing the enhancement tools and information you need to succeed. Together, I will help you succeed in today's challenging business climate. I will evaluate and measure your progress. Best of all, I am right alongside you every step of the way. Build the brand called you. Genius is common.